Welcome back to my series comparing and contrasting the characters from Silent Hill 2 in both their original form and in the remake that came out last year in 2024. So far, we've covered James and Maria, arguably the two most important characters that needed to be done correctly in order to properly convey the themes of the story. Next, we're going to see how Angela's character was adapted for the remake. I'm glad I get to talk about Angela this time, because it means it will be the last time I hopefully ever have to address this. Just like with Maria, there was a certain subsection of the player base that just couldn't help themselves from spewing the most cruel and vindictive things they could about Angela's appearance. Now, in all fairness, the early trailer quality wasn't the greatest, and there were complaints about James looking a bit too old originally. Fortunately, Bloober listened and made corrections, and the final result looked significantly better. Of course, there were still those who didn't care what they did with Angela's character model. They were going to hate it no matter what, unless it looked like a carbon copy of the original, or, in some cases, a more dolled up and prettier version. Because, of course she would need to be. I'm not someone who decries the presence of attractive female characters in games. Like any normal guy, I prefer characters that I'm going to have to see frequently be attractive, especially if it's a main character. However, I also don't take a hardline stance on this and say, if a character, male or female, doesn't look super attractive like some A-list Hollywood celebrity, then the game is ruined or unplayable. That's certainly an opinion to have. I just think it's dumb. I have touched quite a bit of grass in my time, and I actually meet a lot of normal people, so I'm not completely brain rotted on this. It's okay for a character to be average looking. Even the characters in the original weren't super attractive except for Maria's FMV model. Even Angela's FMV version wasn't exactly gorgeous. I spoke in my Maria video about the visual whiplash between cinematic Maria and in-game Maria, and how one clearly looked better than the other. I never thought Angela's FMV appearance looked all that impressive. She was, as the brain-rotted people say about Margot Robbie, mid at best. Her actual character model looked like a woman in her 40s that may or may not have had some sort of meth addiction. Now, let's get one thing out of the way. I may have said this in another video about Remake and Angela at some point, but can we stop with the claim of, well, of course she looks that way. She was an abuse victim, so that's why she looks more than double her actual age. That's just what happens to people like her. You know why I don't buy that at all? Because I've actually worked with teenage boys and girls who were victims of horrific neglect, violence, and abuse that would shock you. The case files I read were brutal. Most of the girls had been victims from family members, some had infant children, some had been trafficked, and one had even planned murder to take someone's house and live their best life there because they were so messed up by what had happened, they thought that was acceptable. Granted, she never could have pulled it off since she was like 14 or 15 and it at most was 4'8" and weighed 70 pounds soaking wet, but surprisingly, she had a very sweet disposition in spite of all that. Little on the crazy side, obviously, but she was friendly and at least made an effort in class to do the work. That was actually true of a lot of them. Victims of a lot of terrible things, but most of them seemed relatively normal when you talked to them, until something triggered them and they went violent. That's when class got real interesting and security had to come in and drag people away and separate them. Anyway, I say all that to say this. The one thing that wasn't true about any of them was that none of these girls, 17 at the oldest until they aged out of the facility at 18, looked way older than their actual age. I can't think of a single male or female that was 17 and looked 45 after a hard life of substance abuse. It's such a BS justification for her design. Even the documentary doesn't claim that to be the reason. They quite literally explain that they wanted her facial expressions to be somewhat uncomfortable, and that she was supposed to be 17, but they decided to make her look slightly older to achieve that effect, which is why they hired a woman in her 40s to play the character.
Now, unlike James, Angela is really bizarre. In the game, she's supposed to be 16 or 17. She doesn't look like a teenager.
It's not, usual teenagers. One has something, I think, and I try to, make her face special, has something inside. Then, that's why I made, these lines, these shadows. She has a kind of a Schwarzenegger mouth, and try to make her face animation, a little bit uncomfortable.
Lost?
That makes her look more older.
The design team aimed to make Angela look older and opted for an older voice. The actress playing Angela is about 40.
It's you! I'm sorry.
Does that mean that victims can't look older than their age? They can, but there's usually a lot of other stuff they're doing to themselves that cause that to be the case. We don't have any indication in the game that that's what's happening. In fact, as much as I don't follow the novelizations or outside content, the impression I get is that Angela downplayed her appearance and dressed in frumpy, non-form-fitting clothes to avoid attention from men. This is actually very accurate to how some victims handle their trauma, and it makes far more sense. Angela actually looks her age in Remake. She could easily be 17 to 20. She's had a rough go of things, obviously, and you can sort of see that exhaustion on her face. Then there were the complaints about her voice. Again, none of the people making this complaint know what they're talking about. These are people who must think there is no such thing as a woman with a lower vocal register, as if altos don't exist. Nope. If she has a lower register than the average woman, then that must mean Bloober was trying to transcode Angela as part of some sort of woke ideology. They wanted Angela to look like a man. Don't they know Angela was supposed to be super hot? I think it was in my review of the game, but there was one person who said that Angela was so ugly in this game that there was no way he believed her dad would have ever touched her. People like this are sick in the head, as if that's why these things happen. I seriously doubt her dad was just sitting around thinking, you know what, my daughter's actually pretty hot now that I think about it. I think I'd like to mount that. That's not why it happens. At least I'm pretty sure it's not. I don't have any personal experience here, so I'm just sort of spitballing, but from what I remember from when I was a criminal justice major studying criminology and victimology, that's not typically the motivation. A lot of it is power, opportunity, resentment, or any other thing you can think of. That's not to say there aren't other deviant reasons behind it, but that's not always the case. And even if it were, how disgusting is it to hand wave away that this would have happened to this version of Angela because you don't think she's hot enough? That says more about you than anything else. Angela doesn't look fat or like a man. There isn't a scene in the entire game where you see her full character model that would ever make anyone with half a brain think such a thing. People making these claims have two brain cells that are fighting the hell out of each other for third place. Touch some grass, go meet what real people look like, and get a grip on something besides your junk. If you can't fathom playing a game where the characters look like real people, and that just destroys your ability to play a game because my escapism needs hot chicks or I can't dissociate from the real world, then that's a you problem. Anyway, I'm done. Angela looks and sounds fine, and I'm not going to address it again. I'm tired of it with this game, and I'm tired of it with so many other ones where this sort of thing gets blown way out of proportion. Are there devs who hate the idea of the male gaze and want to do everything to work against it? Sure. But that's not what's going on here, so calm down.
Calm down, just calm down. Calm down, just calm down.
The first time we meet Angela is in the graveyard.
Excuse me,
Oh, I'm sorry. I
No,
was
it's
just...
okay. I didn't mean to scare you. I'm kind of lost.
Lost?
Yeah. I'm looking for Silent Hill. Is this the right way?
Yeah. It's hard to see with this fog, but there's only the one road. You can't miss it.
Thanks.
But
Yes?
I think you'd better stay away. This town, there's something wrong with it. It's kind of hard to explain, but
Is it dangerous?
maybe. And it's not just the fog either.
Okay,
It's...
I got it. I'll be careful.
I'm not lying.
No, I believe you. It's just... I guess I really don't care if it's dangerous or not. I'm going to town either way.
But why?
I'm looking for... someone.
Who is it?
Someone... very important to me. I'd do anything if I could be with her again.
Me too. I'm looking for my mama. I mean my mother. It's been so long since I've seen her. I thought my father and brother were here, but I can't find them either. I'm sorry. It's not your problem.
I hope you find them.
Yeah, you too.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry. I was just...
Hey, it's okay. I didn't mean to scare you. I'm kind of lost.
Lost?
Yeah, I'm looking for Silent Hill. Is this the right way?
Yeah. It's hard to see with this fog, but there's only the one road. You can't miss it.
Thanks.
But... I think you should stay away. This town, there's something wrong with it. And it's not just the fog, either.
Is it dangerous?
Maybe. It's kind of hard to explain, but...
I'll be careful.
I'm not lying.
No, I believe you. It's just... I guess I don't really care if it's dangerous or not. I'm going either way.
But why?
I'm looking for... someone. Someone very important to me.
Me too. I'm looking for my mama. I mean, my mother. It's been so long since I've seen her. I thought my father and brother were here, but I can't find them either. I'm sorry, it's not your problem.
No, I hope you find them.
Yeah, you too.
And the first thing to notice here is that Angela actually sounds her age, not a middle-aged woman pretending to be a teenager.
How do you do, fellow kids?
What?
I know this is an unpopular opinion, and I'll probably get crucified for it in the comments, but I think Donna Burke was a bad casting decision. There are just so many lines that she has throughout the game that I find to be delivered in such an odd way. I get that her character is supposed to be a little unhinged given her past, but I have never liked her voice for Angela. Donna Burke never should have been the choice for Angela. It's a terrible miscast. You know what wasn't a terrible miscast? Casting her for friggin' Claudia Wolf in Silent Hill 3. Holy crap, it's a night and day difference between those two roles. And I'm sure there was probably different directing for her in that game, but oh my goodness, was Claudia so much better of a role for her, and I think she crushed it. So, I don't think Donna Burke is a bad actress, but it was bad casting and bad direction at times. That said, I believe this was also one of her first credited roles, so it was pretty early in her career, so I will cut her some slack here. Still, it's the utter glazing of the original cast and the inability by some to actually say, you know what, it really wasn't that good of a performance. As I've said elsewhere, it's one thing to say you prefer the original Resident Evil's crappy acting and goofy dialogue because you find it charming, and it's another to say the actors are objectively better than more seasoned professionals. At least try to be objective about it. Anyway, getting back to the different versions, I really am trying to be fair here. OG Angela still just sounds like a much older woman, which, again, I understand to an extent, but I think it's just not fitting for the character. There's really not anything here that I actually find off-putting, since most of her lines sound fine coming from a 40-year-old woman. If Angela was supposed to be that old, I don't think I would have an issue. Honestly, I really don't think I had much of a problem with any of this when I first played this over 20 years ago, but now that voiceover has gotten so much better, and now that I know Angela was originally thought up as a teenage girl, I can't not have a disconnect. The new actress is so much closer in age to Angela this time, and her voice sounds younger, which fits. She also has a much more natural cadence and seems to have much better chemistry with James. As much as I think Salome should get higher praise for playing Mary and Maria, Gianna Keel deserves far more appreciation. Surprisingly, I have seen some recent threads, maybe a month old, on Reddit where, shockingly, people were praising her performance and even being normal about it. Shocking, I know. Donna's lines aren't terrible, but the "who is it" question just sounds off, but they cut it from the remake along with James's awkwardly delivered response. Other than that, the dialogue is the same, but I think Gianna just makes it sound much more natural, and with Luke Roberts, the conversation actually sounds like two real people having a conversation. Also, in case for some reason people weren't aware, but when Angela speaks of not being able to find her mother, brother, or father there, she's specifically referring to the graveyard, not the town proper. Interesting detail I hadn't picked up on for the longest time until replaying the original and the remake. It feels so obvious now, but at the time I just wasn't grasping it. Anyway, like I said before, Donna Burke doesn't sound bad overall as far as line delivery goes. It's just the vocal quality and timbre feels off, and it takes me out every time now. It's like watching an anime subbed, and then you go and decide you want to suffer by watching the dubbed version, especially back in the early days, and the actor's voice just doesn't fit the character on screen at all. That's what this is like for me. Donna is fantastic in Silent Hill 3, and her performance and vocal tone fit Claudia to a T, but here, I don't know. The next time the two meet is in the apartments in front of the wall-sized mirror.
Oh, it's you.
Yeah, I'm James.
Angela.
Angela, okay. I don't know what you're planning, but there's always another way.
Really? But you're the same as me. It's easier just to run. Besides, is what we deserve.
No, I'm not like you.
You afraid? I'm sorry.
It's okay. Did you find your mother?
Not yet. She's not anywhere.
Did she live in this apartment building?
I don't know.
So, all you know is she lived in this town.
What did you say? How do you know that?
Well, I just figured, 'cause this is where you're looking for her. How else would I know?
Yeah.
Am I right?
I'm so tired.
So, why did you come to this town anyway?
I'm sorry. Did you find the person you're looking for?
Not yet. Her name's Mary. She's my wife.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Anyway, she's dead. I don't know why I think she's here.
She's dead?
Don't worry. I'm not crazy. At least, I don't think so.
I've got to find my mama.
Should I go with you? This town's dangerous. Now I know what you meant back there in the cemetery.
I'll be okay by myself. Besides, I'd just slow you down.
What about that?
Will you hold it for me?
Sure. No problem.
If I kept it, I'm not sure what I might do. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been bad. Please, don't.
Oh, it's you.
Yeah. I'm James.
Angela.
Angela. Okay. Look, I'm not sure what you're planning, but there's always another way.
Really? What's the point? It's easier just to run. Maybe it's all we deserve.
We?
Me. You. We're all the same.
I'm not like you.
Are you afraid? Sorry.
It's okay. Did you find your mother?
No. Not yet.
Did she live here? In this building?
I don't know.
So all you know is that she lived in this town?
What did you say? How did you know that?
Well, I just figured because this is where you're looking for her. How else would I know?
Yeah. Sorry. find the person that you were looking for?
Not yet. Her name's Mary. She's my wife.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
I don't know why I think she's here. She
died 3 years ago.
She's dead?
Oh, don't worry, I'm not crazy. At least I don't think so.
I have to find my mama.
Should I go with you? This town really is dangerous. Now I know what you meant back there in the cemetery.
No, it's okay. Besides, I'd just slow you down.
What about that?
Will you hold it for me?
Sure, no problem.
If I kept it, I'm not sure what I might do. No! I'm sorry! I've been bad! Please don't!
Again, most of this is the same, but there is one subtle change in dialogue here that I didn't really catch before. It has to do with what Angela says about running and being the same as James. In the original, she says, "Really? But you're the same as me. It's easier just to run. Besides, it's what we deserve." Remake tweaks the order into, "Really? What's the point? It's easier just to run. Maybe it's all we deserve." James asks, "We?" And she responds with, "Me, you, we're all the same." Again, same information, but the remake makes the conversation flow a little more naturally. Either way, what is Angela trying to say? James obviously thinks she's going to harm herself or worse, and tells her that there's always another way. I think Remake spells out what she means a little better. Her immediate response is that of incredulity and saying, "What's the point? It's easier to run. Maybe it's all we deserve." What would she mean by running? I think James's concern and her response make it apparent. She's talking about running away by killing herself. Maybe it's all we deserve. Followed by equating herself with James, tends to imply that James too desires to end his own life. He denies it, of course, but if you go with either the in water or stillness endings, we know that James does in fact have these tendencies following Mary's death, even if he doesn't admit it to himself at this point. The line read in the original that always sounded weird to me is the "Are you afraid?" line. I think this is probably a bad line read or bad direction in the original. Remake Angela delivers the same line, but it doesn't sound as weird. Granted, Angela saying bizarre, creepy stuff given her mental state isn't terribly surprising given the circumstances. I just prefer this delivery better. As for what she means, I think it's clear she's asking if James is afraid of killing himself. Also, the previous line about being the same as James could also be a reference to the fact that Angela killed her father and possibly brother, and James is also a killer like her, something James also denies. However, given her own seemingly faulty memory, I don't think this is plausible. From here, the conversation follows the same path, with Angela questioning why James would know her mother lived in Silent Hill. His response is simply that, well, this is where Angela is looking, so it makes sense to assume that. You can see the look of realization come across Angela's face that she's overreacting. The best part comes after James sort of lore bombs Angela with the fact that Mary is dead. As I've said in other videos, the motion capture and the facial animations in Remake capture so much more expressiveness and makes these characters feel much more real. You can see Angela sort of process this information and realizes that she's not the only one saying crazy things now. This also seems to trigger something in her mind as well, as though she begins to remember that her mother is dead, which is why she was looking for her in the graveyard at the beginning. Her tone shifts suddenly from depressed, nihilistic teenage girl, which I know some of you would just wish she would add goth makeup and she'd be perfect for you, and suddenly has the tone and demeanor of a frightened child who needs to find mama. Notice that this time she doesn't correct herself. Angela is regressing at this point. James offers to help, but she refuses, saying she would only slow him down. This is another good bit of characterization of Angela. She's overly apologetic, blaming any inconvenience on herself. This is a broken and traumatized young girl who is having a mental crisis. James doesn't push the issue, but asks about the knife. Angela asks him to hang on to it, saying she doesn't know what she would do with it. On the surface, she's referring to harming herself, but I'm not sure that's all there is to it. From what we know later, Angela didn't have the greatest relationship with her mother either, and perhaps she's afraid she might harm her mother if she still had the knife. We'll find out in more detail what she did to her father, so it's not that far of a stretch. The best improvement on this scene is when James reaches for the knife. Angela immediately yells no and thrusts the knife at him as though she needed to protect herself. She's clearly having flashbacks to her past and feels threatened. She quickly realizes what she's done. Angela immediately apologizes and says she's been bad, followed by please don't. This is the same in both versions, but the original Angela lets out an old woman scream before saying this, which just about makes me laugh every time, and that shouldn't be my reaction. OG Angela also gingerly puts down the knife and leaves, but it's like she just casually walks out, whereas Remake Angela actually leaves with a little more haste. Also, can we just admire how well Gianna conveys Angela's breakdown and begging for James not to hurt her, clearly channeling the fear she had of her father from childhood. I know the camera angle isn't exactly flattering her, and some may claim that this is why her character model looks like crap, but I think it's an unflattering angle for a reason. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. Either way, Angela's reaction and triggered response feels much more like how this sort of thing looks in real life. Our next meeting between these two is in Rosewater Park. This is a new scene in Remake and takes place just before going to the Historical Society and then the prison.
Hey. Are you feeling better?
This place is different from what I remember. I guess things never really stay the same, do they?
Yeah, I guess not.
I don't think she's here anymore, James.
Who?
My mama. She doesn't want to see me anymore.
Why would you think that? Anyway, I'm happy to see you.
Happy to see me?
Alive, I mean.
Oh. Yeah. I better get going.
You still don't want me to go with you? If we stick together, we might just make it out of here.
Out of where?
This town. Silent Hill.
No, it's fine.
Okay. Oh, you didn't happen to see a little girl around here, did you?
A little girl?
Yeah, Angela? Are you all right? Angela?
No. Please. You shouldn't be here.
Angela, it's okay.
No, don't touch me!
James finds Angela out near the garden area and says he's happy to see her. She has a curious look on her face, but sounds somewhat optimistic when she repeats it back as a question. He clarifies he means alive, to which she replies, "Oh, yeah," sounding somewhat disappointed. Now, at first, some might think that she was thinking he was trying to say that to hit on her and she was taken aback, but I don't think that's it. Keep in mind, she's been mistreated by essentially everyone she knows her whole life, so being told that someone was happy to see her would be surprising to her and would sound like the best news she's ever had. So for me, I hear this as, you're happy to see me? Nobody's ever been happy to see me. Does someone actually like me? I don't mean that last part in a romantic way either. So when he just says alive, she sort of goes back to, yeah, of course that's not what they meant. It's kind of sad, really. James offers again to help Angela get out of here, and she has a very odd response of, out of where? She sounds genuinely confused, but there's also some apprehension. What do you mean, out of here? What are you planning to do? He clarifies, and still she refuses, saying, it's fine. I think at this point Angela has resigned herself to being in Silent Hill and that it really doesn't matter what happens to her. However, the most impactful part of the scene is when James asks about Laura. When he describes Laura as a little girl, like your average Redditor, Angela freaks out and immediately thinks James is an abusive pedo. Unlike the denizens of Reddit, Angela has a trauma response here to real things that happened to her. She tells James, no, please, you shouldn't be here, which sounds odd until you realize that most likely she's not seeing James anymore. If she is, she's also seeing something else besides James, and it's probably her father. I think she may have remembered that he's dead, which also really explains why he shouldn't be there. My guess is that, in her mind, James isn't the man standing in front of her, but her father. This would also explain why when James tries to reach out to her to make sure she's okay, she responds with visceral rage and runs away. This was probably the scene that solidified my love of Remake Angela over the original. This version does such a good job portraying her trauma, her mental anguish, and just how broken and worn out she is. Unfortunately for Angela, it's all downhill from here. I think we all know what's coming next. The Labyrinth. The biggest change here is going to be the abstract daddy fight.
Daddy, please don't!
Are you okay? Angela, relax.
Don't order me around!
I'm not trying to order you.
So what do you want then? Oh, I see. You're trying to be nice to me, right? I know what you're up to. It's always the same. You're only after one thing.
No, that's not true at all.
You don't have to lie. Go ahead and say it. Or you could just force me. Beat me up like you always did. You only care about yourself anyway. You disgusting pig.
Angela.
Don't touch me! You make me sick. You said your wife Mary was dead, right?
Yes. She was ill.
Liar! I know about you. You didn't want her around anymore. You probably found someone else.
That's ridiculous. I never...
Please. I'll be good, I promise. Tell him I'll be good, please.
Angela? Angela, it's me.
No. Please. Daddy!
Angela. It's okay. Calm down.
Don't order me around!
I'm not. It's okay. It's over.
Don't even try.
Try what?
Like you don't know. I see what you're doing. It's always the same with you. You're only after one thing.
Angela, please.
You don't have to lie. Go ahead. Say it. Or you could just force me. Like he always did. You disgusting pig. I hate you. I hate you.
Angela. I don't know who you think I am, but I don't want to hurt you. I just want to get my Mary back.
You're Mary. Your own little Mary.
At least she was.
for a while.
What?
Admit it. You didn't want her around anymore.
No.
You probably found someone else.
No!
I need to find my mama.
I never.
I shouldn't have to point it out, but the monster clearly looks like two people under bed sheets, one on top of the other, and the bottom one seems to be the one making the anguished noises. I think you can put two and two together. Some have complained about certain bosses having stages to them now, this one and the final boss in particular. Honestly, I'm fine with it. The biggest strategy in the original Silent Hill 1 and even Silent Hill 2 was to walk backwards and shoot for most bosses. This fight in the original was basically the same. Not terribly difficult. It's not too difficult in this as long as you're paying attention to where you're going, but this is much more of a set piece this time around for the first portion of the fight, if you can even call it that. What makes this so much more intense is that the environment is clearly supposed to be Angela's house growing up. You avoid the abstract daddy and destroy TV sets in the area that clue us in just a little more into what life was like for Angela.
Where would you go? Nothing. No one.
Just before the fight, though, we have an extended intro with Angela begging for us to intervene and tell him I'll be good. This is another heartbreaking bit of information that the type of abuse Angela endured was seemingly in the name of being punished for being bad, whatever that meant. As James tries to reassure her that it's just him and everything was okay, she pleads no, please, which turns out to be directed at what she sees as her father. Of course, James sees something completely different, which is what the player sees as well. As I've said before, much of this phase consists of avoiding the boss and destroying the various TVs, uttering disturbing things from her father. I say that, but scrubbing through my recording, I think you do have to at least shoot him enough to make him disappear before being able to proceed to the hallways where you can destroy said TVs. These are a nice nod to the original, where Angela finishes off the monster by braining it with the one in the room. You'll also see Angela running through the corridors as well, and you'll need to follow her route. With each unit destroyed, the walls of the arena crumble and allow access to other areas. One nook you have to hide in has a small teddy bear in the corner, indicating that this was somewhere Angela used to hide with one of her stuffies to avoid her father. I know, they're usually called stuffed animals, but that's the term my own little girl uses, so it's sort of stuck with me, and given how young Angela probably was when all this started, I can't help but picture her hiding and clutching her favorite stuffy for comfort, hoping her father would go away, or at least not act like such a monster. And it's little details like that which make Angela's story even more heartbreaking than it already was. After destroying the last TV, you'll gain access to the last chamber where you fight Abstract Daddy. He's a little more aggressive this time around, but having rifle and shotgun rounds as well as good evasive maneuvers takes him out in no time. The aftermath plays out very much the same in both versions. Angela grabs a TV and slams it down on the monster, finishing it off. Once again, while Donna's performance in the original was serviceable, Gina does a phenomenal job here. Her reaction to James telling her to calm down after this is perfect, and it's exactly how most women react when they're pissed off and you tell them to calm down. So 10 out of 10 writing. James's heart is in the right place, but his brain is somewhere else, possibly flatlining.
You're
heart's in the right place, dear, but your brain is somewhere cold and dark and covered with spiders.
The dialogue is expanded and tweaked a little here as well. In the original, Angela questions that James is being nice to her and using that as a pretext to try and get somewhere with her. Remake Angela implies the same thing, but isn't as explicit. She just says, "Don't even try," and when asked what she means, she says, "Like you don't know? I see what you're doing." After this, both versions have Angela break down and weep after saying that, instead of lying, James could just force her like her father always did. The original has an additional clause of, "or beat me up," which makes it sound worse. The implication being that if Angela didn't just submit, a different type of violence would be used to get her to comply. Either this was deemed as over the top for Remake, or they assumed it was implied by everything else, and by use of the word force, that this was the case. Whether you think it should have stayed is sort of up to you. I think I would have preferred that line to stay the same, honestly, since I think Gina could have really made it work with the rest of her statements. Also, in the original, James suffers total brain death here by thinking it would be a good idea to reach out and try to rest his hand on Angela's shoulder to comfort her. Again, a lot of people take this as an indication that, oh, see, Angela's right. James is trying to get in her pants and he's just looking for an excuse to touch her while she's vulnerable. No, I think it's because James has severe brain damage in the original and it was bad direction. There's nothing that indicates James is interested in Angela, and we can't take her words at face value here either, since she's having a breakdown. She swats his hand away and says that he makes her sick, but this could just be her projecting her feelings about her father and how he used to treat her onto James. In fact, I think that's a much more plausible explanation than James thinking, maybe if I try this, she'll get turned on and want me now. In Remake, James doesn't do this, which means that he can at least read the room even with the low lighting. Instead, Angela sobs out, "You disgusting pig," followed by repeating the phrase, "I hate you." While at first glance it looks like she's saying this to James, I think he's just collateral damage here. Don't get me wrong, I think she says the disgusting pig line at James, but there's something deeper. Remember, she's projecting a lot of her trauma from her father onto James and accusing him of being the same way. So even though she insults him directly, I think there's the hatred of her father really behind what she means. When she says, I hate you, perhaps she's directing this at James too, but I think at this point she's venting her hatred of her father more than anything else. James continues trying to de-escalate the situation, and you can see the pained look on his face. I don't think it's just because he feels attacked. Sure, nobody wants to be accused of doing something like this that they aren't trying to do. You can hear the frustration in his voice, but I think there's also some sadness for Angela. As much as I enjoy making fun of James being a moron in the original, he doesn't seem as clueless in Remake, and I think he understands what's really going on here. He clearly pities her and is trying to reassure her that of all the people who have hurt her, he's not one of them, and nor does he want to be. However, bringing up Mary triggers some new dialogue. Angela takes a mocking tone with James due to his phrasing of "my Mary." Granted, most men use the term "my wife" more than using their spouse's name after the possessive pronoun. I can see how that would make it sound like he was treating her like an object. I can see how it sounds that way, and I think that's how Angela takes it, whether he meant it that way or not. She uses the phrase, "your own little Mary," implying that she was nothing more than a plaything for James. She was a toy for him, for a little while, that is. Probably in the way Angela's father viewed her. Again, things like this are what make people say, "Oh my goodness, Angela sees right through him and called him out. She knows how much of a possessive, woman-abusing misogynist James is." These people probably snap their fingers and say things like "slay queen" as well. Again, Angela is not reliable here since she's already been conflating James with her father. However, that's not to say some of what she says isn't accurate. She accuses James of not wanting Mary around anymore and finding someone else. He gives a quick and emphatic no to the latter, but you can see the pain and doubt in his face at the former. That statement strikes a chord with him that even he doesn't fully realize yet, since he's still in denial about what he's done. He seems to realize that he may have felt that way and doesn't want to admit it because he hates the idea of ever having thought of Mary that way. He has no hesitation about denying that he wanted to replace her with someone else. It also makes me wonder if Angela says this because it's how her father felt about her mother. In a sense, he did, because the types of things he did to Angela were things wildly immoral for a father to do to his daughter. A man sleeping with his wife is normal. Replacing that and using his daughter to satisfy those urges is something evil. So, rather than Angela having some preternatural insight into James, it could be that Angela is just projecting all of this onto James, and it just so happens that one of her statements was correct. Anyway, after this, Angela leaves the room, leaving James to question his true feelings about Mary. The final exchange between the two of them takes place in the hotel stairwell.
Mama! Mama, I was looking for you. Now you're the only one left. Maybe then I can rest. Mama, why are you running away? You're not my mama. It's you. Oh, I'm sorry.
Angela, no.
Thank you for saving me. But I wish you hadn't. Even Mama said it. I deserved what happened.
No, Angela, that's wrong.
No, don't pity me. I'm not worth it. Or maybe you think you can save me. Will you love me? Take care of me? Heal all my pain? That's what I thought. James, give me back that knife.
No, I won't.
Saving it for yourself?
Me? No, I'd never kill myself. It's hot as hell in here.
You see it too. For me, it's always like this.
Mama? Mama! I was looking for you. You're the only one left. Maybe then I can finally rest. Mama. What's wrong? Wait. You're not my mama. It's you.
I'm sorry, Angela. I think you were right. What we're looking for, it's not here. Not anymore.
Thank you for helping me earlier. But I wish you hadn't. Even Mama said it. I deserve what happened.
No, Angela, that is not true.
Don't pity me. I'm not worth it. Or maybe you think you can save me? Will you love me? Care for me? Heal all my pain? That's what I thought. James. Give me back the knife.
No, I won't.
Saving it for yourself. Have it your way. It doesn't change anything.
It's hot as hell in here.
You see it too? For me, it's always like this.
This is, of course, the scene where everything is on fire. The figures affixed to the wall are a little more distinguishable in the original, but they are people under sheets with blood stains around their groin. Again, I think you can piece together the symbolism on your own. The stairwell is also on fire. As for the conversation, the dialogue is the same once more with some minor edits. Once again, I think Gianna was just a better voice for the scene. Donna walked so that Gianna could fly. I will die on this hill. Remake Angela is far better acted and a far better fit for the character this time around. If Angela was supposed to be a 40-plus-year-old woman in canon, that would make sense, but she's not. Her line delivery is still weird here because it's a 40-year-old woman channeling the attitude of a small child, and it's just weird. Yes, I know that's part of what makes her character unsettling, but it just doesn't feel believable to me knowing what I know now. To be fair, that would make sense for when Angela regresses, but it doesn't work the other times either, so I still don't like it. Anyway, Remake Angela sounds so much more disappointed and despondent once the illusion that she sees her mother wears off. Again, I'm not saying Donna was bad, only that Gianna did the role better. With the dialogue being mostly the same, the thing I want to focus on is the dialogue between the two characters about Angela deserving what happened to her. James immediately responds by telling her it's not true, but the key part is that Angela believes this because her mother told her this was true. If you'll recall what I said earlier about her father using his daughter to satisfy his urges instead of his wife, you can see why the mother started blame shifting onto Angela. It's a coping mechanism, and it's also not entirely uncommon in these cases like this either. Sometimes the adults can't bring themselves to admit that someone they knew and trusted could do such a thing on their own, so they blame the child for part of it. This is exactly what happened to Angela, and it's also why she says she's not worth the pity. She has internalized the blame for something that never should have happened to her, and I think Remake does a good job of showing James's pity and compassion for her. You can even see it in his face when he refuses to give the knife back to her. I think James knows that Angela is probably at a point of no return, but he doesn't want to be the one who enables her to end it. And just prior to that, in both versions, Angela sarcastically asks if James thinks he can love her, take care of her, and heal all her pain. Perhaps this is something others had lied to her about to try and take advantage of her. While this isn't something she would believe from him anyways, she also sounds somewhat despondent when she says, "That's what I thought." And to me, this indicates that even if she wouldn't believe it, she also thinks the fact that he didn't say anything else to try and stop her indicates that he really doesn't care what happens to her, or worse, that she really isn't worth anyone caring about her. His silence just confirms what she already thinks about herself. That said, I also wonder if she felt that she might hurt Mama with the knife when she spoke in the apartments about not knowing what she would do if she kept it. And perhaps she feared she would kill her mother if her mother blamed her for what happened again. Just a thought. Angela ascends the staircase that continues to be engulfed in flames. And when James comments on the heat, she asks if he sees it too. This has led to all sorts of conjecture about what exactly is happening. Is James seeing things exactly as Angela does? I think he is in part. I think the labyrinth section with her old home and her father indicates that, to some degree, James sees part of what Angela does, even if they aren't seeing things in the exact same way. We know from other sources that James and Angela see her father in very different ways. That in mind, I think it's fair to say that both Angela and James recognize something involving extreme heat. James sees flames throughout the staircase, which could indicate suffering, as in Angela being in her own personal hell. However, she doesn't seem to be in physical pain from it, which could indicate the flames themselves are an illusion, but the heat is not. Doesn't seem to be enough heat to be life-threatening during their conversation. Does Angela see flames too? I would say that's likely, and maybe at this point they're seeing the same thing, even though that's not always a guarantee. Another theory I saw was that maybe she's seeing something like the pistons from the labyrinth, and this being like a furnace or boiler room. That would be an example of where they are feeling the same thing, the extreme heat, but see two different things that generate the heat. Angela may assume James is seeing the same thing, but he's not. Personally, I wouldn't be surprised if Angela constantly saw the city burning, which could underscore her own suffering and even her desire to see the town metaphorically burn after everything that happened to her. Whatever the case, we know that for Angela, it's always like that. That's going to be it for this one. I'll say again what I've thought all along. Donna Burke did a serviceable job in the original to communicate Angela's character and traumatized personality. Putting aside the fact I just don't think her voice is a good fit for the character, she's not terrible. Sure, there are some questionable reads of lines that I think probably could have used another take or two, but I don't think she played the role in a way that just didn't make any sense or sounded like she had no clue what was going on. She sounds panicky and freaked out when she needs to, but certain spots just don't land for me and take me out of the game. I shouldn't laugh when Angela yells at James in the apartments when he reaches for the knife, or when she just casually strolls out of the room. I shouldn't want to chuckle whenever she says anything about Mama. It just sounds laughable to me, and I get that as a preference thing. Other than those few bits, I don't think she's terrible. I just think she was miscast, and I think her excellent work as Claudia in Silent Hill 3 proves that she can do much better work. The new actress, Gianna, did an incredible job and brought a lot of realism and pathos to Angela's character, and I think she truly understood who Angela was and how to portray her. I never cared much about Angela as a character in the original. Was her story sad? Sure, but I just couldn't connect to her. Gianna's performance made me feel so much more pity and compassion for Angela than I thought I would. She's a terrific actress for the part, and I think most people who've taken the time to shut out the internet telling them everything is woke trash or a soulless cash grab have been able to see that. Games like Remake are a lot more fun when you don't have someone in your ear constantly telling you that you should hate it. So with that, I'll wrap this up, and next time we'll take a look at Eddie. He and Laura should be a lot shorter since they don't have anywhere near as much screen time. And until then, take care, and I'll talk to you again soon.